So ZVT, we are the defensive race, yeah, as a Zerg player. We don't need to be aggressive. So we're going to have a look at Nick. Nick is an absolute monster because he's a Terran player and we love Terrans around here. Stim and win to that lad. So what we're going to do in this game is we're going to abuse the fact that we've got overlords early in the game. And we're going to see, just like we did to Jacob, how early and what he's trying to do in the game. We're going to try and have ideas whilst we're trying to make units, all right?
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to use the first overlord. We'll put the sound enabled on. Oh, I'm not ready. Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, straight.
There we go.
Cool. Thank you.
So start, obviously, you want your overlord and whatever. So you're coming in with this overlord and you just want to see the top here before then retreating back. So you're almost doing like this weird sort of parallelogram here, yeah? That's what you ideally want to do. So this is definitely the way we need to see just the top, because we want to see at 2 minutes to 2 minutes 10 whether our opponent is going for Reapers, then Marine, or Reapers and then into Reactor. And there's a big reason why we need to see that, because we need to know whether it's 1-1-1 or 3 Rex or 2-1-1. And that's the only way we're going to know that without any other information. So once we've made our hatchery at 16, 17, wherever you want, as long as 16 workers are on this mineral line, we can produce the next 2 larvae. The first larva is going to the gas. The second larva here, the 18th, is going to random location in your base, and that will be making the spawning pool. We're now making the next 3 of these, so your 17th, your 18th, and your 19th drone into this extractor here. This is the most efficient standard opener that you could find, apart from the Q-Lash build, which a lot of the Zergs will know about if you are a Zerg player. We see a lovely early scout from our opponent, so that normally means he's not going to be cheesing. We're going to send this overlord out into the dead airspace, making a 3rd overlord. That's correct. That is a 3rd overlord, putting it in the middle of the map because we want to see what comes across the map. So all we're doing now is making drones here, and that is going to be most of what we're doing, is making loads of drones and scouting what our opponent is doing. We're going to be making 4 lings and 2 queens straight away. And those 4 lings are going to be able to defend our mineral lines, because we're not going to push them out into the open, and then we're going to patrol them up here. Similar to what Jacob did. It was a really good opener from him. 2 workers are coming out of the gas, so that when we get 100 workers, we're in a safe location. We've now gone into a reactor. That could be Reaper into reactor here. And we do see a command center as well. So we get free scouting here, as we see on the mini-map, the Reaper. So all we need to do with this is just be annoying while we grab our 3rd base. We don't really need to micro these, because it's up to our opponent to try and micro. This is cool. We can lose all of these. It doesn't really matter, because he's now trying to... Look at how occupied he is there. Look, now we'll get a 3rd base really free here. Look, it's crazy, right? Absolutely crazy. Continually drone. We can see now he's gone reactor first as an reactor after the Reaper, so that means he's going into a mass well, it should be a mass marine opener really. So any sort of Ling Bane openers here should be fine. This is a lovely little touch for him to come around the side. What we're going to do is just morph that into a lovely spore crawler. This is really good stuff from him, really trying to put me under pressure and doing what he can do to or a little bit extra. While this is happening, all we need to do is just really leave that. I think we killed the Reaper, which is great. And we're just going to continually drone here. That's all we're doing. And on our natural, we're always going to make 1 queen at a time. That's all we're going to be doing here. So we've got our 3 lings still alive. Let's take some of the watchtowers here, and let's just constantly drone. So now we've got 2 bases saturated. We need to make sure we're going back on gas in the main base. We're not getting supply blocked. And then we're going to go lair at 100 gas. Double gas in the natural. 2 evo chambers. Easiest opener ever, whilst we're constantly making these drones. Now we're getting to the 4 minutes to 4:20 blaze it scout, which is really easy to know. So we're going to continually drone here until we see something. That's all we need to do, grabbing more and more queens. All right, so we're constantly droning. Do we need a Bane in this? Probably be nice to be safe to do so. Now we're going to scout what our opponent is doing and whether we need a spore crawler or not. This is going to be really important to the game here. So Starport is only just coming up now. He's got his factory and so he's got his 111. A lot of Marines opened here. So this Overlord is going to die. So we're going to make 2 more Overlords here. No sign of a third base. So we shouldn't even be thinking of a third base by ourselves. Because we're playing very defensive in this matchup, just in case, we're going to make sure that we grab all of our spore crawlers. This is not necessary because we've scouted something different, but we are going to accommodate that in this game. So I don't want to build a bane in this, do I? So, now that we've got a big chunk of units, we started up our creep spread as well, which is great. We've now got a Ling coming across the map, or a Marine, sorry, coming across the map here, which is great for us. We're going to now use one of our Overlords to try and get some changelings out on the map. All right? So we've got 3 gases. We're not going to an extra base unless we see something from our opponent. And you can see all we're doing is making units and trying to defend this third base. That's all we want to do to achieve. Look at the vision that we've got on this map. The only way we can improve that is an Overlord here and now an Overlord here. Really, really easy stuff for you guys. 16-16 on all of the workers, on all of the mineral lines here. We are constantly producing units. Now our next stage is to confirm whether it is bio or it is mech. That's our next stage while we're going into our 4th base. So what we're going to do is drop an overseer into the main base while we're grabbing a 4th, while we're not getting supply block and continually producing lings and banings. A couple of safety banings would be nice. Let's kill that Marine out there. I think we should kill that. Constantly producing lings at this point because we're not sure of what our opponent is doing. This is really good. So we're going to assume now it's going to be bio. So we're going to go Ling Bane Hydra now. So we're going to drop the Hydra nest den down. We're going to saturate this gas and we're going to create nothing but units still. Constantly trying to get vision. Look at the vision on the map. We're already in a good spot to try and defend this. This is great for us. So I'm just going to use some of these units that are here and just control and left click, and we should be able to have enough units here to be able to defend. This is really, really good for us. Upgrades are finished. We continue with our upgrades. We've now got enough, well, we haven't got enough gas, so we're going to grab some extra gases. And we now see a load of army that are here, but we have got a lot of units here to be able to defend. So again, we're not interested in killing those medevacs. We just want to make sure that we've got loads of units. So we're constantly producing units and making sure that we are gaining control of the map. Got loads of those units there. Let's just move those across. Doesn't really matter whether we lose some of these units here. Doesn't really matter because we do have the Spore Crawler. So that one Spore Crawler just literally scared them all away. Fantastic. He was able to focus his Overseer. Does not really matter because if he can't do any damage to my economy, there's really not much that he can do in the game here. He's going to be in a lot of trouble the longer the game goes on. We're now just going to constantly produce Hydras and units, and we're not going to worry about much else, to be honest. We're going to just make sure we're not getting supply blocked and we are constantly producing. Saturate this gas. You see how I'm trying to do everything as slowly as possible, although it's kind of hard for me because I do enjoy making units all the time. We see all of his army that is over there. We've got loads and loads of army here, which is probably half our army or some of our army here. So we're going to shift click all of these. We're going to make sure that we take both the watchtowers again, and we're going to move across the map. So if you want to go into Hive Tech, you can, but you need to make sure you've got 4 bases saturated and you've got a big enough army here. So we see all of his army here, and we still note that he hasn't really got any combat shields. So what we're going to do is just continually produce units. Now as a Zerg player, because you're the Swarm, I advise you to make a lot of Banings, but not too many. We just want a lot. What we are now going to do is we're going to attack from one side, or take his vision from one side, and we're going to be aggressive on another. So all we're going to do is have one hotkey here. We've already shift clicked this army the other side, and that is a planetary fortress as well. That's really interesting. So now we've killed all of these units here. It looks like he's probably gone for a drop here as well. I'm going to try and go up into his main base here. So we don't need to attack into we don't really need to attack into anything there, into the planetary fortress, although that planetary fortress is basically dead. We're now in the production, or at least in the worker. Yeah, well, behind the workers at the moment. So anything is an extra to us here. We're just constantly making units. 2-2 is done at the moment. Let's get +1 just because we can. And we're just constantly producing units all of the time. That's all we're trying to do. All right. So still the same group of units. We're now onto the production. Going to try and get as much as you can out of most of these units if you can. And at the time that he deals with this, you're maxed out again inside your main base. GG, well played. And we've still got a hell of a lot of army back at home. Again, what did we need to do in this game but scout our opponent, attacking and then killing him?
Very good. Very good.
Cool stuff, innit?